Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. Wherever this is finding you, welcome to the 50th Emerging Growth Conference. Such a pleasure to be back with you all today. I'm Anna Berry, your host for this conference today. So just a few notes. We are running today until about 3:30 Eastern Time. So remember, when we switch to the next company, you're going to see a black screen for a moment, but don't go anywhere. That's just us transitioning to the next presenter. But if you do experience downtime for more than a minute or two, refresh your browser and everything should work properly again. Our platform does work best on Google Chrome. So if you're watching from an Apple device, you have to hit the play button to start the session. Now, all of our conferences, they're uploaded to our Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel. So subscribe and you can check out past conferences there. It's youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Now, today, during each company's presentation, you can submit questions through our webcast module, and we will attempt to address as many of these as possible at the end of the presentation. And one last note, after today's event, you'll be redirected to the registration page for our next conference in 2 weeks. So stay on or come back to reserve your spot early. All right, let's begin our 50th conference today, starting with Rail Vision. It trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol RVSN and is a technology company that's seeking to revolutionize railway safety and the data-related market, and has developed cutting-edge artificial intelligence-based industry-leading technology that's specifically designed for railways to save lives, increase efficiency, and dramatically reduce expenses for the railway operators. Please welcome its CEO and co-founder, Shahar Hania. Welcome, Shahar. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you very much for having me. It is a great pleasure being here with you.
Yes, it's a very timely subject matter, so we look forward to hearing about your presentation, and call me back when you are ready for questions.
Okay, hello everybody. We'll start with a short movie and later on we'll move to the presentation.
Every year, there are thousands of railway accidents. In 2019, there were 1,552 accidents in Europe alone. These accidents cost the lives of 824 people. 618 more were injured, and the total damage is estimated to have cost about 3.5 billion euros.
This is the moment a train driver in Poland ran down the aisle warning passengers seconds before the train crashed into a lorry.
Rail Vision presents the artificial intelligence revolution for preventing railway accidents. The systems operate day and night under all weather conditions. They are able to sense beyond the required braking distance through a combination of sensors specially developed in the company's laboratories and artificial intelligence. With these systems, a previously unavoidable accident is transformed into a controlled braking sequence, enabling the driver to safely bring the train to a complete stop. Detection of humans and vehicles in an urban environment. Detection of vehicles at long distances. Detection in a railway operational environment. Detection of the train travel route. Detection of locomotives and rail cars. The system relies on artificial intelligence to detect, identify, and classify objects. Detection of braking shoes in a railway operational environment. Detection during limited visibility. Detection of large animals. Rail Vision. Trains just got smarter.
Thank you. So, hello again everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let's go directly to the presentation. A bit about Rail Vision. It was founded in 2016 by 4 founders, in which I'm honored to be one of them. We have about more than 60 employees, when the majority of them are R&D personnel, scientists, PhDs, and so on. We have a strategic investor partner, which is Knorr-Bremse, a well-known company in the train industry. They are inside this, involved in this industry, let's say 110 years ago. And they traded a public company in Frankfurt. But I think that the most important thing from our point of view as a small company from Israel is that they have a global presence all over the world. So whenever there is an operator, they're already there. They're speaking the same language. They're already customers of Knorr Bremse. So imagine if a company like Real Vision would have to set all of this ecosystem from zero. You understand what the challenge might be. So in this sense, I must say that this is a great thing to have in Real Vision. So let's talk about the problem that Real Vision technology solves. A train operator, driver, engineer, whatever you call it, can see and can classify in daylight 300 meters, 400 meters, and at night he sees nothing. And let's say, give or take, the braking distance of a train is about half a mile. Means that the train driver is, as a matter of fact, irrelevant in the sense of avoiding accidents. So our system can classify up to 2 kilometers, and by that avoid and provide the driver alerts so he can stop the train, sound horn, or whatever is needed. So, when a train accident takes place, beside the casualties, God forbid, the damage to the platform itself is so big, is so huge, because it has to go through a payment process when it might take even 1 year to get it back in service. So as it said, when wheels are not turning, you are not earning. So beside the damage to the platform that costs quite a lot of money, you are jamming all the traffic, all the network is jammed, because you have 1 track, 2 tracks, and now everything is jammed. So beside of the direct cost of the downtime of the train and the accident itself, you have all the wreckage spread around, and you have to clean it up, and only then the train network can start again. So by avoiding those terrible accidents, we're, as a matter of fact, preventing these huge losses for the operator and the infrastructure. So when the train operators understood that they have a problem, they looked to the right and the left, and they saw that the most advanced industry in that sense is the automotive. But unfortunately, from their point of view, the distances, the ranges that are discussed in this industry is 50 meters, 100 meters, something like that. But for the train industry, you need at least 200 meters in the marshalling yard and up to 2 kilometers in the main line. So this is why the only available solution, as far as we know, is only available in Real Vision. So what is our solution? We have an external sensor unit, which involves visual sensor, a very unique one, and also a thermal sensor. All of those were developed in Real Vision. The optics, the whole concept itself was developed inside Real Vision. So we can see 24/7, day, night, rain, snow, and we can classify up to 2 kilometers through all of these variety of weather conditions. What you see in the picture is the switch yard systems that can classify up to 200 meters. And inside you have the computing unit that runs artificial intelligence in real time. So we don't need any external service or server like Google, Amazon. Everything is running on the edge computing, and therefore this is quite efficient and can be considered as a safety-related feature. On the left, you can see our flagship system that already sold to Israeli Railways. You can see the installation of the long-term pilot. And after about 1 year of testing our system throughout the year, Israeli Railways signed a contract with us of delivering the first 10 units all over the world. This is the first time all over the world globally that this kind of system and technology is involved into operational trains that's running operational, passengers and freight as well. On the right, you can see our switch yard or marshalling yard system that was developed with SBB Cargo. Just for you to imagine, 3 trains coming from the port carrying 100 wagons each. The first one carries ballast, and the second one carries sand, and the third one carries wheat, for example. Now you have to arrange the train that goes to Berlin, and that carries 3 wagons each. So all of this operation, arranging, connecting, disconnecting the wagons from the train takes place in the marshalling yard. A thing that quite a lot of employees are hanging around, and you have to go from one side to the train to the other one, a very non-efficient process. So with our system, we can increase dramatically the efficiency of this marshalling yard operations. Besides of that, we know from a U.S. customer that, and not only from U.S., that there's a huge problem of lack of human resources in this industry, because nobody would like to go out there and stand rain, snow outside of the locomotive and arrange the movement of the operational activities of that. So one customer told us that they trained the employees for 2 weeks or 2 months, and then after 2 months they just resigned. They cannot stand it. So with our technology, we can increase or decrease the need for the lack of people that are involved in this process, and even go autonomous one day. So let's talk about the market. You know, the market is just huge. So whenever infrastructure and transportation are involved, it means a lot of money. Okay, so whenever we can contribute to the efficiency and safety of this market, it means that we are in business. Let's talk a bit about the predictive, going from maintenance to predictive maintenance and infrastructure monitoring. Our system is already installed on the locomotive, so there is no reason that we will not do additional activities that cost the operators so much money. Imagine a train that goes from Canada to Mexico, and you need and you have a vegetation problem through this route. And instead of waiting till the vegetation will hit the train, we can provide with our system an alert when the tree is going closer to the train. And by that, the maintenance guys can arrange somebody to go there and cut the tree, and by that solve this issue. But imagine that you have data collected of 1 year, for example. You can plan the maintenance after that a year ahead, and by that increase dramatically the efficiency of the maintenance. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying going from maintenance to predictive maintenance. So this is also very valuable for the customer. What is the business model? First of all, we sell the system itself for every locomotive, but imagine that the locomotive his life cycle is about 20-30 years. So it means that we are obliged to provide service through all of these years. So beside of that, software updates, features update, and electronic components for nowadays are lasting for 3 years, 5 years, nothing more than that. So once they have a problem, we can also do the service of obsolescence management to the customer, and by that support him in the hardware as well through all of this year. So if we'll take, for example, parallel markets such as the military or civilian aviation, in 10 years you can imagine even multiplying the value of the deal that was done with this customer. This is an example of the first system that we sold for the switchyard industry. This is in SBB Cargo. You can see the classification of the tracks on the right side, and the classification of a train, and also a person, which is very hard to see. I was on this locomotive. You couldn't see a thing. It was a dense fog, and you can barely see something. So I don't know any other technology that can classify to that resolution, that you can alert for this person, which is, in matter of fact, your employee, and you wouldn't like to damage him or hit him in whatever view that you can use case you can think of. Let's talk about a real autonomous train that already is running in Rio Tinto in Pilbara, Australia. Those trains are in an auto-haul project already running freely without any driver inside. But they don't have any obstacle detection system. So this is why they made all the way to Israel to witness our system capabilities. And after that, we signed a contract with Hitachi, which is the Rio Tinto integrator. We managed to deliver on time our system and also conduct the long-term pilot for about half a year. And now we are discussing the next phase. It was a great success. Our system outperformed through, day, night, whatever the train was driving through. Israeli Railways, as you might already noticed, we already managed to sign a contract with Israeli Railways. You see here the actual installation for the LTP period. Our system ran about a year through Israel with our system, and the system outperformed beyond any expectation. This is why we managed to sign a contract and move forward with that. And as I mentioned before, this is the first time ever that this system with this kind of technologies, with artificial intelligence classification, is running on operational trains, which is a great message to the market. So what about the future? There's a lot of things to say about the future, but I would mention only one thing on that. A train is going autonomous without any doubt, because when you have to take care of employees to be involved, being driver in locomotives, so you are not really sure that they are fully concentrated outside the train, the locomotive. They have other things to do, to take care of the system, inspect the systems of the locomotive, and also might have cell phones, conversations, or whatever. Being autonomous is, in matter of fact, inevitable, or at least ADAS, assistant driving, autonomous driver assist systems, as we have in our cars already now. So there will not be any autonomous system without eyes. And as for today, we are the only available eyes in the market, and we are the best one that can go up to 2 kilometers classification, which is more than a mile. Let's talk a bit about the people. The chairman of the board, which is senior vice president of Knorr-Bremse, as I mentioned before, a vast experience in the railway industry. Myself, I am in the sensor technology since '94. I was in the military service as electro-optics expert. I was, after that, in the military industry, defense industry, doing missile warning systems, detection systems. I was jamming missiles for quite a long time. And then we established Trail Vision, and also Ofer Nave, the CFO, which has a vast experience of public companies in Israel and outside Israel as well. A bit about the financial data. As you can see here, Rail Vision capital investment till now is around $63 million. The net cash flow updated to September 2022 is around $8 million, and the cash balance as for September is around $10.4 million. Okay, so if I'll summarize the presentation, we have a strategic partner which is deeply involved in the industry, also participated all the rounds of raising money, and will participate in the future as well. The market, as I mentioned before, is just huge, and we are there to increase efficiency and decrease downtime. Okay, system is already available. We've been through all hard problems of development, everything is already set in place. Long-term revenue industry, we are not a dream company. We are not talking about any game in the app store, whatever. We are here with a sustainable solution in a sustainable industry. So this is why our business is something real. Oops. One, two, three. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're still live.
Okay, so the only thing that I have to say is that our management, as I showed before, also with a vast experience in technology, sales, marketing, financial, all the things that you need in order to move forward to the success. Okay, that's it, I think. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, great job. We do have some questions for you. Let's jump in. So Josh Watkins says, trains require a great deal of stopping distance. His question is, how much notice is given to the operator of the train? Is it sufficient for stopping to avoid any issue? And how many false alarms, if any, has the system generated? Will that delay travel times?
Okay, great question. So first of all, the train gives enough, our system gives enough time for the driver. At the moment, it is in ADAS, the same as you have in your car. It provides an alert with enough time for the driver to respond. So he can stop the train, he can decrease the speed, so he's sure about what to do. Consider a train that travels at 45 or 40 meters per second, and you have a few hundreds of meters before you need to take some action. So you have about 10 seconds, 20 seconds to respond. It is quite a lot of time to do that. So about the false alarms, it depends on the, of course, on the size of the obstacle. But I can say that from standard or homologation point of view or regulation point of view, all you have to do is be better than a person. And according to research, available researchers, you can see that artificial intelligence is doing much better, or not much better. If artificial intelligence, deep learning technologies are 93% classification, so our system can go up to 95, and in some occasions, even much more than that.
Thank you for that. Marl Griffin asks, does your system help prevent derailments?
Sure. If it is an obstacle that caused a derailment, just the accident took place in Missouri when there was a dump truck that was stuck on trains with the terrible derailment that was there. Yes, our system would probably, I wouldn't like to say 100%, but very close to that, would be able to prevent this kind of terrible accident.
And James Brannon asks, how many companies and countries is currently using your system at present?
I can say that in Europe, Asia, we have POCs there. Also in the US, I can say that some of you might saw a press release of a company in the US that came all the way to Israel to witness our system. And we just placed a PO for one system for a POC. So I think our existence is almost all over the world.
And do you have any current competitors? Who is your biggest competitor?
For the mainline system that classifies up to 2 kilometers, I can say proudly that at the moment, we don't see somebody that is even close to us, okay? In the switchyard, there were some attempts from a Russian company or guys from the LRV, automotive industry, but in terms of ranges, they're not close to what, as far as we know, they're not close to what we can offer up to 200 meters classification.
And Ken Bryant asks, how much data is collected? Also, what types of different data and how can it all be used or monetized?
Well, this is a real great question. We are collecting data since even before, as co-founders, we've collected data for 7 years. And because of the contract that we signed with Israeli Railways from the beginning, we had the access to the relevant data for the train industry. We usually don't use data that, the city pass or whatever available data that you have out there. It is good, for playing around, but the actual data that is related to the train industry in our system was collected in the train industry all over the world. It was in Germany, it was in Israel, US, Asia Pacific. So we're talking about hundreds of teras of data. And dealing with that, we have data management in-house. This is a thing that usually we are not doing outsourcing for that from various reasons. But the main reason is that you have to control the work. You have a lot of rework on the data management. This is why it is very beneficial to do that in-house.
Kat Anderson asks, what is the startup onboarding for a rail company like Norfolk like? Can you talk about that?
I think that I didn't get the question.
Like the onboarding. Can you talk a little bit about what the onboarding would be like to, as well as a revenue model?
Oh, well, at the beginning, all beginnings are tough. Same here. The first customers would like to see it runs for at least half a year. But I think that what we achieved till now will make our life much easier once they see that it is moving forward with Israeli Railways, with Australia, with Rio Tinto, and SBB Cargo, and some other places around the world. It's going to be we believe it's going to be much easier. Okay? So keep in mind that every customer that we're talking about means that the deal size can go up to 10th of million per customer. So we're talking about working hard, yes, but it will be very beneficial if I got your question right.
Shahar, we have a comment from Jeff, and I'm going to read to you, and then if you'd like to comment after. So Jeff says that I've alerted RedChip that there are now 2 other companies called Rail Vision, one in the UK and one in Canada, that I know are not related to your company, and neither company has stock. So the company in Canada calculates how the trains can maximize their fuel efficiency equals savings for the company, which is good. And the company in the UK is also good, but somehow or other with cameras, they can tell if the wooden RR ties are in need of repair or are accurate up to 200 miles per hour, alerting the train company of the coordinates of which pieces of would need repaired. Okay, following me? It can also tell a rail company if the brakes are overheating or if the brakes need to be changed. Plus, they have drones for the shunting stations and more. So continuing on, Jeff says, I told RedChip that if you 3 companies got together, you would have one hell of a company with some serious product offerings and everyone would benefit. There would be economies at scale, only need 1 salesperson in a territory instead of 3, blah, blah, blah. All right. Each company could still be their own separate division if they wanted to be. Last note, their value would instantly grow. Not sure of the market value of the company in Canada. They could join into the company. I'm just trying to read everything that Jeff is saying to make sure that we get this. So from there, once these 3 divisions are working together and train companies see the offerings, Rail Vision as a whole will be the place for train companies to go and buy from and get their value would probably even double within 6 months via stock. Shareholders would grow as well. Everyone would win. Jeff says it's definitely worth considering. What do you have to say about that?
First of all, I'll be grateful if Jeff will find the time for a chat with me later on to have 30 minutes. I'll love to hear his opinion, his insight on what's going on. But talking about these companies, the company in Canada, we know them very good. In a matter of fact, okay, let's keep it this way. They're talking about their Rail Vision Analytics, not Rail Vision, okay? The Rail Vision, the UK, are talking about some kind of device that will be attached to the train, and this is about inspection locomotive, a thing that takes a downtime to the infrastructure itself, okay? They are all vision laser-based, and we know the technology very well, but we are talking about looking forward up to 2 kilometers, a thing that the companies, it might seem the same concept or the same technology, but it is not. But of course, with time emerging with companies like that has a very reasonable economical logic.
Well, what we will do, Shahar, is we will give you Jeff's contact so you guys definitely can have a conversation about this. And we really enjoyed your presentation and would love for you to come back in the future and give us an update. It's very timely for us here, especially in the US. So we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure being here with you.
Okay, thank you. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back with our next presenter.